Good morning and welcome back to the Home Renovation Expert. Steve here on this 5x3 garden room build. Coming along very, very nicely, as you can very well tell. So today is all about the decking. Now I did start this yesterday, so I'll give you a quick recap in case you're watching this and I can say the whole video is about decking then, you see. Clever. So what I am doing is, I've got the 4 posts in at the far ends. So now they marry each other, so the same distance from there to the building, from there to the edge of the building. So it's just far enough back because my boards are actually 4.8 meters, so it'll just overhang a little bit. So I'll get a bit of wood on that side possibly, or that side, whichever way I need to hang it when I kind of get round to that part. Post created in, nice and simple. I managed to get a dig on this one, so that one's now in as well. So I'm basically running these at about 600 centres. So you can see I've just sprayed where the next holes are going to be. Once you've got your sort of the front ones in, just run yourself a nice string line all the way through. Just held on with a bit of a little screw. And now I know when I'm digging these holes, as long as my wood is in contact, like this one, they're all absolutely perfectly in line with each other. So my plan now is I shall dig many more holes. I shall then put some water in, put the postcrete in and get these actually in. I don't think you need to see that, it's quite straightforward. And if you want to see me dig holes, go to the very beginning. You can see me digging the holes for the foundation for this one. But yeah, so I'll get those dug, get them all postcreted in. I'm using 100mm by 100mm highly pressure treated timber for this. So these last for donkey's years. And then that's it. So once I've got those in, actually I won't tell, I'll come back to you in a second. Watch your space. Right. I thought I'd quickly show you this bit, right? So once you've got your hole dug, so the way I'm measuring these ones at the back is, I know that these ones are all in a perfect line because I need that to be straight. I then take a measurement from the back of the secured one to the centre of this one, so 72.5. I then put that across there. I put a mark with my spray on the floor straight through where the centre of the post is going to be. Dig my hole. This one doesn't matter if it's a bit further this way, a bit further that way. You can do what you like with it because I'll have wood that runs from there across, so plenty of support. So that's how I'm working these out. I know that these are all straight, so that'll follow as long as I keep measuring. So when I put this wood on, it'll sit flush across those two. That's the important part. Once you've dug your hole, chuck in a little spit of water, just fill up the bottom of the hole. Chuck a bit of postcrete in the bottom. Lovely, lovely. Chuck in your post, which you've cut and measured. So about there. What did I say? Well, I can't remember. I measured 72, so to the end is 67. So I measure that from there to there. That's perfect, 67. Cool. So give that a little knocky. Secure it in just for 2 seconds. Then literally just fill up around the edges with postcrete. Getting down all 4 edges. Just trickle it in. If it's a bit tight, you've got to do it away or whatever, but make sure you get some down there. Like that. Then what you want to do is give it a little jiggle just to make sure the postcrete powder falls right into the crevice all the way around the post. Nice little jiggle, happy days. And then measure to make sure it's exactly where it needs to be. And that is spot on. Little tappy tap. That one is done and dusted. So that's all you've got to do. So again, I'll just rinse and repeat. I've got another 1, 2, 3, 3 more to go, and I'll be on a wooden part. Beautiful. So righto, that's my support joist post in. Now I'm putting the floor joist down, okay? That was my lowest end, okay? So that one is right next to the ground over there. So that's the one I started with. Got it levelled basically in this direction. Once that was zipped in, you just get the next one cut and run them. Put that across there like so, and then lift it up. And you know, once it's sort of level back and touching that one, it should be give or take about there. So just always double check it as you kind of go. Just give it a little lifty there, little one. That's going to be that. That's that in and beautiful. Do the same for the front. So you're just working off of the ones you've already done. That way you know, as you go across, it's going to be absolutely spot on level as you go. That's absolutely lovely. I'll just put one in, each one for the minute. I'll run round and I'll give them a second one, third one, fourth one. I'm using these index timber screws. Bloody fantastic things these are. And what size are these ones? No, that's about 125. So perfect, straight through, nicely held, straight into your post. Ain't no movement on that, so it ain't going nowhere. So that's how you get those on, get them level. Like I say, I've overshot it, because what I'll do is, so some of these are like below level, which is perfect. So I've got a few over there that are above. So I'll get those chopped down so that they are below it. Then I'll chuck on my boards, spacer them out off the building, and then whatever the overhang, whatever this is like sticking out by, I'll just chop those bits off so I know I'm perfect. And then, yeah, get those boards fixed. Yeah, love it. Love a bit of woodworking. Digging some holes, bit of post-crete. Hog's heaven, love it. Right, I shall crack on, get those on, and I'll show you me chopping tops off of these bad boys. Also, quick side note, don't forget to put your weed membrane down. Heavy duty under this one, underneath the garden room. It doesn't have to be heavy duty because obviously no sun's going to get to it and no weeds are going to go through the floor. But when it comes to decking, yeah, put a heavy duty one down and you'll be golden then. I'm glad I finished that before I actually boarded across. Right, sticking the decking down. You can see I've already begun. So what I've done was I just pushed the first one up against the battens here. So when the rest of the red cedar comes, it'll just then come down and just sit just off of the decking there. Absolutely beautiful. The one closest here though, I've made that removal. I've not stuck all the screws in it because once my windows turn up, my doors, I will have to cut out for the threshold strip. So that one's just got like 4 screws to either end to keep it in place. Once they turn up, I'll drop it out, fit the doors and windows, then put it up, mark up where I need to chop out, chop that bit out and then slide it in. Absolutely beautiful. But when you're fitting decking, what you do, this is how I do it anyway. I grab 3mm spaces, I've got like 3 1mm ones here. I will then run down to the end. Well, I say run, I walk gently. I will then make sure that it's level with here, because I've lined it up with the building so it's the same gap either side. I'll get 2 screws ready. Just get them started. Then place your spacer in between this board and the last. Whack them in. Lovely jubbly. Now, what I'll do at this point is, I'll then come down to the other end. Just make sure you can see. And I don't think you can see on that camera, but actually if I bring you up and over, look, you can see there's a slight bow there, and it gets tighter as it goes through. So this is my little way of doing it. So I used to just run down, I'd space them as I went, put a 3mm spacer in between every one as I just come across. But sometimes if the bow or the twist is like this joint, it's a right bugger trying to get this one to lie flat. So what I do now is I put the spacer in that end, I put spacer in this end, push it up nice and tight. Zip it in. And then what I'll do is I'll get a rough centre point over there somewhere. Let's say, argument's sake, here. Now it's nice and tight, it's actually butting up here, but because I've only got the 2 ends pitched and I've got a nice length of what do you call it, decking, it's easy enough just to pull that centre out, put my spacer in, and then zip that in. Now, across most of that is absolutely already a 3mm gap. See? So I haven't got to worry about doing that now. I can literally walk it, I can eyeball it and go, yeah, that's sitting pretty, that is. So then all I'll do is put 2 screws at every joint. The screws I'm using, these are flipping brilliant. First time I've used them actually. So this is Spax. It's their actual decking ones. I'll bring that closer. They are amazing. Fantastic little grip on them. Nice little bit of head on it. And yeah, really, really like them. They bear themselves nice and simply, and they almost become invisible quite quick, which is an absolute epic thing. So yeah, happy with that. So what I'll do now is run around, zip that, and like I say, these are overshot, so I'll keep putting these boards on until I get to my final one, and then literally I'll just saw off what I don't need. So that way I haven't had to make this like accurate and get it all perfectly measured. You just do what you need to do and then just chop it off. I'll show that in a minute. Right, so what you're going to do is grab a set square, put it on like that so it keeps it nice and flush there. Draw a line down the back, beautiful. Now, in all fairness, work the camera, I've done the same on this side. That's right. And then handsaw. Nothing more sophisticated than that. Just make sure you follow the line down, because what you're going to do is, once these are all chopped off, that gives you a perfectly line, flush. Now that one, it's got something to screw to, and now hold it in place. Have I done this before? I might have done. Done. Follow the line absolutely perfectly. Just a tiny bit at the bottom. Done. Do that to a lot of them. And then, like I say, this one then just flop down, flush up against there, and there's my fixings for that one. And then the one that comes underneath that, which is going to have a very slight angle cut on it, I'll show you how I go about that in a minute as well. Right, the front bit. So what I've already done is basically I lined it up with both ends. I then put in my fixings ready to go, so they're all lined up with the floor joist, makes life a bit easier. What I've got down this end is again just like a dead man's hand, just to hold this end up. So what I'll do is get it down, get it on there. So it's not exactly perfectly height that side, but it doesn't matter. It's just better than having a whacking great angle of it. So what I can do now is come down this end, drag it so it's flush with this one next to it, 2mm more, and then I'll put the top one in, like that. I'll come down the line to the middle, lift her up, make sure I'm happy with how flush it's sitting. Whack another one in, and then same on the end. And there you go. Run round, put all those screws in, and that is a beautiful finished that front edge. Right, the funny angled one at the front. So if you come back this way, you can see obviously bigger gap to the right than there is to the left, okay? So I need to take that into account with this cut. So what I'll do is, get that in a nice position so you can sort of see me. I've taken the measurement from there to there. It's about 25, that gives me about 5mm gap, just to keep off the floor a little bit. And down that end, ironically, it's the full width of the board. So what I've done is, the bottom one will be the one I'm going to cut. This one on top I'm using as a straight edge. So all I've done is measure 25mm off of there, which will be the bit that goes down there. I then run this across so you can see that that bit at the bottom is getting bigger and wider until eventually we come to the point where it is pretty much off to the end. What I'll now do is I run down the whole thing, put a pencil mark across this line all the way through, and then I'll just get my circular saw and cut across that line. And that is how you get that angle cut absolutely beautiful and perfect. And because you're using this, which is the same length, you've got an even sort of pencil line, as opposed to trying to do it with levels and trying to meet up, because I ain't got levels how to do this. It's brilliant, absolutely perfect. So right, I'm going to get that marked and get it cut. And there you go. You can see, lovely angle cut, follows the line of the earth beautifully. So that is the majority of the decking now officially done. All I'm going to do now, because I feel I feel I must, just close off these ends. So essentially all it's going to be is cutting these and then screwing it straight to that one. Same for the bottom, I'll just put a bit of wood on the bottom there, pad it out, and that'll give me that run for that last little bit across there. So pretty marvellous. I'll get those bits cracked and then beer o'clock one, no, not till tonight. Sat down in my special Guinness cup, which has got like gel inside it that you keep in the freezer. Keeps it ice cold chilled. I need it even more now because my door has just knocked all my screws over. This is real life world, people. There's no editing here. Well, there you go. One bespoke, finished, lovely, lovely decking. Look at that angle cut, gorgeous in it. So there you go. So I say comes out just over a metre. And yeah, this is the extra thick stuff. So this is really, really good quality stuff. So like I say, this stuff is going to last for donkey's years. Nice finished trim there. Absolutely stunning. So what I'll do is I'll cover it over for the weekend now with black stuff, because this is quite a muddy, boggy garden, and I don't want to get like loads of mud impregnated into it, because obviously once you go to oil it, you don't want to have all that stuff in there. So yeah, you want to make sure you kind of get a sort of treatment on it. So I'll do that on Monday, and yeah, bloody happy days. So you go, that's how you do a bit of decking. If you'd like to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, I'd really appreciate it. Like I say, just hit 700 subscribers, which is just incredible. So thank you guys for watching. Yeah, and whatever you're up to this weekend, have a blinder. I'll catch you guys on Monday. See yous.